Moved by Councillor Rolla, seconded by Councillor Moffat. Resolved that the regular meeting commence at the hour of 7 p.m. And be it further resolved that Council acknowledges that we are meeting in the Robinson Superior Treaty Area on lands that have been traditionally used by several Indigenous nations. But we would like to pay special recognition to our closest Indigenous neighbours, the communities of Bitagon, Nishnabik, and Pic-Mobert First Nations. We wish to recognize the long history of the First Nations and Métis people in our region specifically and show respect to them today. All in favour? Thank you. Call the meeting to order. Are there any additions or deletions to the? Seeing none. Is there a disclosure of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Move to the approval of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Moffat, seconded by Councillor Rolla. Resolved that the agenda be approved as circulated. All in favour? Thank you. There's a delegation by Colleen Leduc. So, Colleen, you're on.
Okay. Microphone.
Hi there, good evening everybody. Thank you for having me on the agenda this evening. I am the Online Learning and Recruitment Officer for Contact North, and my job is to supervise the region from Pace Plat all the way up to Wawa and includes the township of Mantuan. So the purpose of my presentation to you this evening is just to give you a very, very brief background of Contact North in case you don't know. I'll cover briefly the services that we offer in your community, give you an update on the online learning center that we have in Mantuan, and hopefully you might have some questions at the end. I would be happy to address any questions you might have, as well as if you have any ideas of how Contact North could better serve your community, I would be more than happy to take any suggestions. I have a very short PowerPoint presentation put together, so if you would excuse me, I'm going to stop my video and I'm going to head right over to screen share and pull that short presentation up for you. Everybody can see that okay?
Yes, we can.
Awesome, thank you. So, Contact North offers services to provide online learning in over 600 small, rural, remote, and First Nations communities across Ontario. We are a non-profit organization which has been in existence for over 25 years, and we are funded by the province of Ontario. Our main mandate is to provide access to post-secondary degree and diploma courses and programs, as well as assisting individuals who need training to become better prepared for the workforce or upgrade in their current position. And we do all of that on a local level, so individuals don't have to leave their communities and perhaps travel to a big campus. They can stay home and maintain their employment or caregive for their family. We offer at a local level program and course information. We provide assistance with registering for those courses. We provide financial aid options for people looking at big degree and diploma programs that can have hefty financial burdens associated with them. We have a fantastic technical support group. So if somebody is enrolled in an online program and they're having tech support issues like not being able to log on or their learning platform crashes, we have a 1-800 number that they can call anytime. We provide exam vigilation services, community referrals, and one of the nice things about Contact North is we're a very high-touch organization, so we stay in touch with our students on a regular basis. Contact North can provide referrals to 1,000 online programs and 18,000 online courses. What we do very locally, including in Manitowocc, is we work with the employment offices in Ontario again to build capacity with individuals to get them back into the workforce. So we have a ton of free programming, including getting your high school diploma, customer service training, basic training like Microsoft Word and Excel upgrading. We work with human resource officers as well as small businesses and individuals. Lynn Krager is our local student services representative in Manitowocc, and she's got her on the ground several days a week, working hard, reaching out to people in your community. Our online learning center is now located in the Manitowocc High School. I did want to give a big thank you to the municipality of Manitowocc for hosting us for so long in the arena. We've just settled into the new facility in the high school. Excuse me. We are currently closed because we're deemed non-essential. So at this point, February 11th is what the province has said when they may reopen. And in that case, Lynn will be available by appointment only in the office, both to help students and to make appointments with anybody who is interested in learning more about what we do. The Online Learning Center in the high school has web conferencing, video conferencing, and audio conferencing. I believe there's a full suite of 6 computers located in the room, all fully capable of handling online classes. There's high-speed internet and full technical support, and our student services representative is there at all times to assist in troubleshooting. Contact North maintains a website, studyonline.ca, so if an individual or business is not interested or doesn't have the ability to come into the office, they can check us out on studyonline.ca, and they'll get a wealth of information about programs available across Ontario, as well as information about their local online learning center. Just to backtrack a little bit about our free courses, I've noticed a huge uptake in the last year or so, particularly since a lot of the workforce is staying home, in our free online courses. So again, that can be anything from professional upgrading to our full capacity of hobby courses, crafting, knitting, recipe making. We've even done some courses on playing the piano and guitar and gardening. So I just wanted, for your information, we do have a whole other side of Contact North, which has the more personal style of courses. It is available at no cost. My contact information is up on the screen. Should you desire to take it down, that's wonderful. Jolene also has my contact information. And again, studyonline.ca, you will find me listed there as well. So thank you very much for allowing me to make that short presentation to you. I'm going to pull my presentation down, come back on video, and I'd be happy to field any questions or suggestions that you have for me.
Are there any questions?
Good. It was nice.
Looks like you did a good job, and everybody knows who you are, I guess. So.
Make it easy on me.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks again for your time. And again, we are in Manitowocc, so should you have anything within your own lives or you're out in the community and you feel there's a need, please don't hesitate to make referrals over to us. We'll be happy to help.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Moffat, second by Councillor Rolla. Resolved that Council is in receipt of the presentation provided by Colleen Leduc, Online Learning and Recruitment Officer for Contact North, regarding how Contact North can provide opportunities for training and education for the community. And further be it resolved that Council thanks the above noted representative for attending and providing the presentation to Council. All in favor? Thank you. And thank you very much.
Thanks. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Colleen.
Moved by Councillor Rolla, seconded by Councillor Moffat. Resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting held on January 13th, 2021 are adopted as circulated. All in favor? Moved by Councilor Moffat, seconded by Councilor Rolla, resolved that the minutes of the special meeting held on January 14, 2021 are adopted as circulated. All in favor? Moved by Councilor Moffat, seconded by Councilor Rolla, resolved that the minutes of the special meeting held on January 18, 2021 are adopted as circulated. All in favor? Moved by Councilor Rolla, seconded by Councilor Moffat, resolved that the minutes of the special meeting held on January 19, 2020 are adopted as circulated. All in favor? Moved by Councilor Rolla, seconded by Councilor Moffat, resolved that the minutes of the special meeting held on January 20th, 2021 are adopted as circulated. All in favor? There are no petitions, so we'll move to correspondence. There are 2 items in correspondence. Do we have to bring either of them down or no? Moved by Councilor Moffat, seconded by Councilor Rolla. Resolved that correspondence items 0801 and to 0802 be received and filed. All in favor? Okay. Moved by Councilor Rolla, seconded by Councilor Moffat. Resolved that the minutes of the meeting of the Thunder Bay District Social Service Administration Board held December 17, 2020, regular, and December 17, 2020, closed, be accepted as received. All in favor? Moved by Councilor Moffat, seconded by Councilor Rolla. Resolved that Council is in receipt of Administration Report HS 2021-01 submitted by Shelley Ferguson, JHSC Management Co-Chair, Director of Community Services regarding Joint Health and Safety Committee 2019 to 2020 Annual JHSC Reports as provided to Council for information purposes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is an annual report that the Joint Health and Safety are required to provide to Council. We got behind with 2019, so we tried to catch up with all the paperwork. Some of the highlights out of 2019, the Joint Health and Safety tackled many policies that were suggested by our CRSP, which are in correlation with the convention at the back. We implemented Safety Hub, which provides safety training to our employees. We can actually access that through the computer anywhere in our job site and provide safety training to them. 2019 was when COVID-19 started, so that kind of changed our focus, and we had to do some research and try to support the employees and the working environment to maintain a safe aspect of that. Incident-wise, we were happy that there was only one Form 7 submitted, and there was no lost time. And the good news is there was no critical injuries, so we didn't have too bad of a year 2017. 2020, COVID continued, and our momentum with COVID didn't stop. So we did a bulletin to make sure that the employees were up to date. We had a lot of information that we had to depict site-wise. Safety plans were required, so there was some information that had to be researched and provided. And we've got a great big book now that is COVID-19 related to safety measures. Training's continuing to focus on job-specific tasks. So, for example, propane handling was provided. Our workplace inspections are focusing on a team environment, and our intentions are to continue the momentum with follow-up for 2021. We're also continuing with the compendium that pointed out at the back. There's a lot of policies that are suggested by our CRSP to be revised or updated or included. That's for your information.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. We'll call the question accepted. All in favor? Thank you. That was easy.
John, sorry. We've missed the verbal update from the CAO.
No, it's the next one.
Oh,
It's the next item down. It's just,
We can do it whenever you like, sir.
yeah.
Do you want me to proceed now, or?
yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Through the chair, I have a short CAO update. As you all know, the emergency declaration for Ontario was reenacted due to COVID, and they've now extended that to February 9th. I'm fielding lots of questions because it is causing confusion between the Reopening Ontario Act rules, the stay-at-home rules, and that. Some of those rules are enforced under the Reopening Ontario Act, and then when they wanted the stay-home rules and that other stuff, they redeclared the emergency, and it gave them authority to make immediate rules and new regs on short order. So right now, the declared emergency is going to last until February 9th. We all know that the stay-at-home is to February 11th. So what the expectation is on the 9th, you're going to see another 14 days continuation of the declaration, and probably with the day after that, they will implement the 14-day extension to the stay-at-home policy. What they're gauging this on is the number of cases per day on the 7-day average. Lately, we've been running around 2,600 cases a day in the province of Ontario for the 7-day average. The target is to get it less than 1,000. So we're all hopeful, but February 9th is looming on us pretty quick to see that big of change. So we're hopeful, we're watching for it. It affects a lot of municipal operations, especially the non-essential stuff, the community services programs and facilities like that. So we are watching. We're trying to keep the public advised. As you know, we've made a decision for the municipality that we follow 3 sources of information. So 1 is the Ontario government, 2 is the Thunder Bay District Health Unit, and 3 is communication with our hospital CAO in the community. So we look to those 3 people. And my suggestion would be to the residents of the community, if they have questions, if you just Google Ontario emergency, you'll come up with all the COVID rules and dates if you want to confirm anything. And as well, the Thunder Bay District Health Unit has a website that you can go to. And we do try and keep up community information, but there's so much coming sometimes so fast it's hard to do it. And sometimes it's better just to send the people right to the source, being the Ontario government or the health unit, for the latest and greatest announcements that they're making. If you go to either one of those 2 locations and look for the news, you'll see that day's reports out and what's going on. So that's kind of how we make our decisions and where we look for our information. The COVID extreme dollars, we're still continue. That's basically slowed to a trickle. There's almost still $14,000 out in the community that we would encourage our residents to get out and turn back into the community and support those local businesses. They could certainly use it. And the program is running well. It has gone well. But now we're down into the trickle at the end, and we would like to complete the project. For the airport, for the last 6 months, we've been working on new approaches at the airport. You've probably driven by and seen some of the tree clearing going on, and we've did a bunch of survey work and measuring in this. And what that stands for is local position with vertical guidance. So for a few years now, we've had 2-dimensional GPS approach at the airport, and an airplane could come, they locate the airport with that. They were allowed to fly as low as 560 feet if they could see the ground and the approach. On a 5-mile approach, they could come in and land. So with the work we've done, this will take effect in April. We will have vertical guidance as well, so they'll be able to get good positioning base to the ground. So what this allows them to do is at a mile out now, as low as 250 feet. If they can see the ground, they will be able to approach and land in Manitouwadge. So we'll see an increase in the ability in the airport when it's cloudy or foggy or crappy weather that's quite a substantial change because the distance and the elevation brings them a lot lower and a lot closer and gives them a good chance to access the airport. So we hope to see a decrease, especially when it's medical flights that get waved away for foul weather, to see a substantial decrease in that. So it's a big improvement to the operation out there. And it gets publicized in what they call the Canadian pilot. And that comes out in April, so that will take effect and be in service from then. And it's kind of a good program for us because it doesn't involve any on-the-ground equipment other than pushing the trees back. We didn't have to put any electronics or nothing in. It's all equipped within the airplanes, and it's their GPS that gives them that the equipment, so that we don't have to own anything because of it, which is always nice, or maintain anything. And we've contacted all the users of the airports, our regular customers, Orange, Bravo, Thunder, and all those people, SkyCare, and they all have that technology available to them in their aircraft today to take advantage of it. So we're happy with the announcement. We just got word yesterday through the contractor we were using to do the approach work for us that we were approved and with the new minimums. So we're quite happy. We had a meeting with Bittigon, Nisquenabe, and their chief, Duncan Michano, this week. The mayor attended, myself, Florence arranged the meeting, and it was to talk about the Trails Master Plan, specifically the 2 canoe routes of the Pick River and the Black River. And they were very enthusiastic about the project, very interested, and want to partner with us on developing specifically the Black River canoe route and that trail, as far as maybe getting some of the portages cleaned out, camping sites along the canoe routes. So we're looking at partnering via a 2-community thing where maybe people come to Manitouwadge, get into Black River, canoe down to Bittigon. Residents there or a business operator there could get them, 2 of them around the facility, show them some of their heritage, and then get them back to Manitouwadge with their canoes and stuff to pick up their vehicles. So we're really pleased, and I was really encouraged by the depth that they want to work together on this project. So that's good. This week was also the Roma conference, which Councillor Arola, the mayor, and I took part in. We did have a delegation with the MTO Minister Mulrooney, to talk about drive test service in the community. As you know, that's provided to the MTO by a contractor, and that contract is coming to an end next year. And so the way the minister put it, they have learned lots of lessons and have lots of case studies to work on the new contract with. And that, so they are aware of the problem. They are aware of the comment, we can't come because the roads are bad. Well, the same people that maintain the roads, and you're the ones that approve us and license us to drive on these roads, and you can't come. So the MTO is aware of that and plans to look into that as well. The other part of the conversation was about service in communities such as Manitouwadge that are distant from the major centers, and possibly of taking some of that service online and having a online presence, maybe to renew your license, at least if you have a commercial operator's permit or something like that. The minister was quick to point out that the announcements that they made at Roma about investing $200 million to help communities with broadband and to get rolling. So we informed her that we have high-speed broadband in Manitouwadge, that we're ready to go, and we're willing to be a pilot location so they could start that work now and be ready when the rest of the people have broadband. So they made note of that, and we made the offer. So I received word late today that the Victim Services program that operates in Manitouwadge is looking at shutting down their Manitouwadge operation. I can tell you as fire chief, I've used that program 2 or 3 times a year. I know the ambulance service accesses it and uses it when people need assistance, as well as the OPP. So I plan in the next day or 2 to reach out to that program and get the information, find out what's going on, get the information back to council, and see if there's some intervention on your part that may be helpful for that program. I know myself, I've had issues arise from fire calls, and their program has been very helpful in taking care in a timely fashion. And sometimes you need that help in very quick, and you don't want to wait an hour or 2. For us, it takes our focus off addressing the emergency and taking care of the people that may be a victim of the event So those people show up and take that off our hands and deal with it, and they're well trained in that. So it's very helpful. So I would hate to see it leave the community. So we will work on that. The Community Services Department has been working on lots of issues. Obviously, with the shutdown, it changes their focus. Meanwhile, the Recreation Master Plan is continuing. The survey is online now for the residents to get engaged with the program. So it's on both the Manitouage website and our Facebook page. You can go there. Is it on the My Manitouage as well? So on My Manitouage as well, if you access that, you can go in and partake in the survey and have their say on the program. They have done some other things. They're looking at going to virtual programming online. So we've talked about live streaming and Zooming some programs. One of them is the boot camp training that they do at the rec center. And as well, there's some Ontario fishing programs and Hockeyville and things like that. So they are talking on setting up and getting to offer programs via live stream, virtual, and Zoom. So it's good to see that. Obviously, they're waiting the decisions of the government to see about close down and shut down and what's going to happen. It's having an impact on the operation for sure. And that's my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The next item is the Virtual Association of Municipalities of Ontario, AMO, Annual General Meeting and Conference to be held on August the 15th to the 18th in 2021. I don't know whose turn it is or how we do this. Who is free to go?
There's a good chance it's still going to be virtual.
It's going to be virtual.
So
Yeah.
for the number of people
But
that attend,
we
it's not really,
No, the number of people don't matter, but the number of registrations
Yes.
still costs you the
Yeah.
$1,000 or whatever it is to register. So, and if you can go, certainly, I think anybody that can go should go.
So what's the deadline for that?
I'd like to know.
Sorry, through the chair, the early bird, if we want to catch the early bird rate, it's in April for us to register. So anytime after that, we can likely register until July, but to catch the early bird rate, then we just have to register early.
I think we can take the names now, and if you can't make it, then you can tell us, and we'll take
Yeah.
the names off
Yeah,
before April.
yeah, maybe a reminder in April.
Even now, I was going to say, if there's something we could circulate to them, if there's agenda and dates,
Sure.
at least whatever we have, we could circulate that.
I would
yeah.
certainly like to know the agenda before I sign up.
We definitely don't have the agenda yet, but
Yeah.
Right, I get that,
yeah.
yeah. But for the early bird, Councillor Moffat's suggestion, we get a reminder just before the early bird date.
Yeah, because, we should do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we could put the names down now that are interested in going and think they can make it, and then if you can't, you just let us know, and before the
Yeah.
early bird comes, we can take your name off.
Well, if it's virtual, basically you could be anywhere and attend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm putting my name down. Is there anybody?
Yeah, well, put me down.
Yeah, I'll see if I'm working there. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'm also interested, Mr. Mayor.
So I should put all of them down.
I just like to see the agenda, sorry.
You got till April to back out if
I
you're
just
here.
need to see if I'm working, and then we'll
Yeah,
go from
and
there.
then if you can't, just
Yeah.
let us know.
Okay.
We'll take the names
Yeah.
off. So,
Perfect.
okay. Moved by Councillor Moffat, seconded by Councillor Roll. Resolved that the 2021 Virtual Association of Municipalities of Ontario, AMO, AGM and Annual Conference is scheduled to be held on August 15th to the 18th, 2021. And be it further resolved that upon conclusion of council's review, the following council and staff members will attend: Mayor McEachran, Councillor Rolla, Councillor Hudson, Councillor Moffat, and Councillor Scampanell. All in favor. And CAO, sorry. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Moffat, seconded by Councillor Roll. Resolved that council is in receipt of the Manitouage Arena report due to COVID closure submitted by Shelley Ferguson, Director of Community Services, regarding request for direction from council to change the schedule CIMCO mid-season preventative maintenance to a plant shutdown. You're on.
Okay, so we'll just where we're at here with this. Shelley and I have been talking about this lots lately, about do we take the ice out or do we keep it in? Are we going to see a COVID extension? There's so much unknown. So what I did is ask Shelley for a report about the arena so council could see what we've done to date, what the usage has been like, and where we go going forward. Simcoe does come in. It's a mid-season program, Shelley, that they come for to do a mid-season maintenance. So we need them to shut the plant down if that's the decision that we're going to shut the plant down early. So they want to know ahead of time. It affects their scheduling because they do a North Shore run, if you will, and try and decide, do we shut it down or do we leave ice in and possibly continue like we have been. So there's reports for council, and certainly Shelley could handle any questions you may have.
Through the chair, could we confirm a rumor that a radio announcement was made, I don't listen to CFNO, saying that the arena is closed for the remainder of the year? Can we confirm that that's
I can
already
answer that
happened?
right now for you, Councillor.
Go
That
ahead.
wasn't said. I was the radio interview, and what I said is we're looking at the ice, and do
Okay.
we take it out and close now or not?
I wanted to confirm the rumor
Yeah.
because I didn't hear it like that.
Yes.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Looking at versus closing is a big thing, so.
Yeah. No,
Thank you
we
very
have
much.
to. Yeah. When we look at the usage, we look at the cost, we look at the usage, and now we're going to come to this D-Day about do we do it. The problem is that Simcoe could end up being here the first week of February. We won't know if this is getting lifted till the 9th. We go ahead and do mid-season. We carry on for another couple months, as the report indicates, at $50,000 to $75,000, and possibly not be open at all.
Okay, so
So, through the chair, is there any way at all that we can, like, are they scheduled to come the first week of February, or can they?
It's a North Shore thing. Maybe Shelley's talking.
Yeah,
and
like
she'll
could
let-
they
yeah.
be postponed until we know whether the lockdown will continue or not?
Simcoe is very willing to work with our schedule. I've explained to them the Ontario deadline of February 11th.
Mm-hmm.
They were scheduling February 1st to the 15th to be in Ontario. They come from Manitoba, which currently now has residents quarantined for 14 days when they arrive back to their province. Our essential services with Simcoe won't have to go through that, but Manitoba is starting to tighten down their expectations around COVID as well. That being said, Simcoe is more than willing to put us at the end of the hit list if we want. If we make a decision to close tonight, they'll bump us to the 1st of February if we want. They're very flexible in working with us, and they understand COVID and all the ramifications.
Okay, so my thoughts on that would be, if the lockdown's going to continue for another 28 days, well, then it only makes sense to shut it down. But if it has a chance of opening, then I say let's reopen, right, as soon as we can.
or let's wait until, if they can come after the 11th.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
If you can schedule them to come after the 11th of February, then we will know
Yeah, then
whether
we'll
we're
know.
going to shut down
Yeah.
for longer.
And I think that's fair for everybody.
Yeah.
if
Just
we
to be
can
clear,
do that.
Councillor, if they put that extension on, it'll be for 14 days, not for 28. You'll get it 2 weeks at a time, your extension.
Maybe.
No, they have a mandate, the provincial regs, they have to review it, and the way it works. That's why you're seeing these incremental things come out. Like a municipality, we can declare like we did back in March, and it can stay on, there's no time frame. The province has to continually review theirs in 14-day cycles, and that's why you see these 14-day increment roll out that way. So if we see an extension, first what we'll see on the 9th is the extension of the emergency declaration, and then sometime between then and the 11th, if they're going to extend, you will see that extension.
Through the chair, I agree. I think we should wait to the 11th to see and then decide.
You have no problem with that?
We
or-
still have some hope here.
Through the chair, if I can just point out, Simcoe is scheduling 15 days, right? So the possibility of us being extended for 14 days after the 11th might have Simcoe back in Manitoba. depending on their workload, right? Also, the domino effect of arenas and them all, they hit our North Shore arenas. Say, for example, they start in Kenora and work their way down to Manitowoc, and February 11th is hit, and we said we're going to stay open, but it's only for 14 days. They won't stay in Ontario for 14 days. They'll head back to Manitoba, and then they'll come specifically for Manitowoc. Now, I'm in coordination with them to try to see if they'd be willing to start their Ontario schedule maybe on the 7th of February, or see if they'd be willing to push it farther along. But like Lauren pointed out, they are looking at 2-week increments, and so that's where it gets really dicey, trying to juggle the contractor and being dedicated to costs.
Yeah. Through the chair, have you been talking with the other arenas on the North Shore? Like, how are their thoughts on this? Is it the same as ours?
They're exactly the same.
So maybe if we all get together and say to them, can you please hold off your trip for a week or two?
Yeah.
That might have a bit of impact if everybody's on the same page.
Absolutely, yeah. But the domino effect is I would hope that maybe we could have a game plan if we choose to stay open until February 11th, and then give us a 2-week increment. Do I come back in 2 weeks and say, or do we come back in 2 weeks and say, what are we doing? And continue on that 2-week increment. Kind of need to put a plan.
Have you got any idea of what the other communities are doing?
They're doing exactly what.
So
we
they
talked
haven't
about.
they haven't decided yet either.
No, they're
Okay.
waiting for the February 11th
Okay.
stance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I've forgotten. I heard one arena closed. I forget which one it is now. It was at Oliver's.
Papoonge?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I heard through the chair the news there's a couple in the northwest that have closed, but basically the northeast is waiting for.
And that's going to be the problem of the scheduling. If half, like they come and do
Right.
a whole run for us, if half of them want to be closed, they want to stop the day as soon as they can. And if they're going to stay open, they want to wait till the 11th and then say yes or no, and then they're going to get a backlog. So it's going to create availability of the contractor issue is what's going to be. And we may lose the option just because of that, beyond our control. And then they're going to have to come back a second time because, as I mentioned at the start, we need them to shut it down eventually anyway.
So you're looking for some kind of guidance from us that says if we delay them coming until the 11th, and then we have to find out it's going to be closed in another 2 weeks, can you go ahead and close it then? Is that what you're saying?
What would you like me to do?
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to go through this every 2 weeks.
Can we have an emergency kind of session on the 11th?
Well, the thing is our next scheduled council meeting is February 10th.
Well, we might know then.
If we get to dictate to the contractor that, we may lose that opportunity if other councils decide to close between now and then. We're going to be kind of at Simcoe's mercy on how they can roll out their scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say delay them as long as we can. What can we do?
Well, if
Yeah.
you're saying that we could ask them to put us at the end of their run, that would be pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Oh,
If
for sure.
at that point
Yeah.
we know we are not opening, we're not allowed to open, then we can just go ahead and we're closed, right?
Sure, yeah, that's not a problem. It's whether or not they extend it for
Yeah.
2 weeks and 2 weeks and 2
Yeah.
weeks, right?
And through the chair, is this the only company that does this?
This is our one-year plan.
They're the big fish in the pond, if you
There's
will.
only one?
Yeah. We have a contract with them we go year by year, we contract them for the whole winter. So they're our startup, our mid-season check, which is the February run, and then shut down at the end of the year. They do it all. And they have now, heck, that's probably been 12 years, I think, at least we've been having a contract with them.
Yeah, through the chair, I mean, if you guys are able to put us at the tail end, I think we should try to maintain it. Let's be optimistic and keep going. It's been being done for years. Why not do it, right? It's maintenance. It's something that we should be doing.
It's not the maintenance, it's about spending the money.
It's
and
a
not being
shutdown,
open
yeah,
at all.
it's
That's the issue. You're going to spend $50,000 to $75,000 and maybe
For them
never
to
have
come
a door
back.
open.
Yeah.
That's the
But I agree with Jim. I think if we can get them to put us at the end, we should either know then or be able to make a decision based on what's happening with everybody else at that point.
And through the chair, if we could have, just in case we know something on the 10th, if we could have that on the agenda.
We could update council, it'll be based, and by then we will know whether Simcoe is going to be able to be that flexible for us or not.
Yeah.
And we will also have a look at the 7-day average of COVID case numbers by then as well, as I mentioned. They're hoping that it gets down to 1,000. That's, way out of my,
Everything's up in the air, but
yeah.
And it's up in the air for every
Yeah.
community, unfortunately, right? We're all sitting in the same boat. We're all spending the money maintaining ice surface, having staff on to maintain TSSA's responsibility, and we want to provide for the community, but in the same breath, we're spending lots of money for it to collect dust.
Well, through the chair, we look at it another way, as Councillor Scapanello stated, that we remain positive. Maybe we can do this, and it's budgeted for, is it not?
Absolutely.
We already approved that budget. Okay.
So
yeah, update on the 10th.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to say is, be it further resolved that upon conclusion of council's review and consideration, council direct staff to ask CIMCO to delay their visit to the community to the end of their run.
and if it's now,
Well,
we're going to get into a jackpot here somewhere, whether they can accommodate us, and then if we get the announcement, the 9th, 10th, where we get the announcements, and in that place. So ideally, we can come back to council at that meeting, but that day, Simcoe's going to be phoning Shelley and saying, hey, are we coming and shutting you down? Like, it's going to be a matter of fact what's going to have to make
that
a decision.
on the 10th.
Yeah, so at that
Probably,
point, we'll
yes.
have to make the decision, say we shut it down.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if they do extend it.
So you want it left for the council meeting is what I'm taking. Okay, I'm fine with that. I just want to be clear, Councillor, that's all. Yeah.
Yes, did you?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, like I said, every community is sitting in the same situation we are, so they're waiting for the 11th as well. Simcoe's phone will be ringing off the hook at that point. I don't know that I will be able to give you an exact date when they're coming, what they're going to do based on the domino effect of everybody's reaction to open or close. So
No, that's understandable.
what I can bring you.
That's what we can do.
Through the chair,
Well,
we'll have previous discussion with them, explaining Northern Ontario's situation, that they can hopefully
I think what you should do,
accommodate
Shelley,
other-
if you get a negative, what you should do is contact all the councillors by phone.
Okay.
If we need to give you a decision to do one or the other,
We'll call a meeting if that comes to that
Yes.
point. We won't
Okay.
be calling the individual councillors and asking. We'll have to do it
Yeah.
through the
Call a
process of.
special
yeah,
meeting.
call
Yeah, I'll have to call a meeting.
Yeah.
That's all we can do, is call
Yeah.
a special meeting, yeah.
No problem. And, I want to clarify, Simcoe is very willing to do the best they can for
Yeah.
us. They understand the whole COVID situation, so.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor? I said that. To ask Simcoe to delay their visit to the community to the end of their run for February.
No, I think it should be worded that we delay this whole decision till the 10th, the next meeting, right?
Yeah, we can delay, because what's scheduled in
But we're
February
asking
for us
them
right
to
now?
delay their visit.
Yes, but the February visit for us is normally maintenance.
Right.
And what the question is, do we turn it into a shutdown visit as opposed? So right now, the way it stands, it's a maintenance visit. On the 10th of February, council can look at the situation again and decide, do we tell them it's maintenance, or do we say shut it down? That's about the options we're going to have.
And all we're asking is for them to delay to the end of the run.
If they come before the 10th, you're not going to have that option. It's going to be maintenance, from what I'm understanding
Yeah.
tonight here.
But hopefully they'll work with the other communities and delay their whole trip.
That would make sense,
Yeah.
because we're all in the same boat. Everybody's going to be waiting for that decision.
But that may cause a real problem for them, because they
Yep.
may have too many people to do at the end of the month.
And then we may end up, we're going to get to where we're March 1st shutting it off anyways.
Exactly.
It might happen.
And I'd just like to point out, in the beginning of the report, it shows on the calendar how things transpired. So we came to council for direction on the 14th, and Simcoe was able to arrive by the 21st because of their scheduling, because of how their job worked through the process, right? So it couldn't happen overnight. So that being said, now on the flip side of that, everyone waits for the 11th, and we are the last one. We might not be shut down until March 15th, depending on their job schedule.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to find out.
Actually, that would work out better for us than us having to call them back just for us. That's an additional $70,000.
Well, it's expensive to have them come just for a one-off. We've had to do it. We've had breakdowns. We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Emergency repairs. But, if we can do it on our contract fee that we agree to, that's obviously desirable.
Okay.
So you don't want to hear at the end of their run, you want to hear a date?
Well,
Because I don't.
I think
know
the
what-
10th is the way it is, because either it's
Yeah.
going to maintenance or a shutdown
That's right.
option, and that's
Yeah.
be the question, and we
Yeah.
can hopefully give better, clearer information on the 10th for council.
yeah.
Okay, say to delay visit the community to after the 10th of February?
No, the 10th is whether, the question is going to be whether we shut it down or we just do maintenance and continue with the plant running.
That we delay our decision until the next meeting on the 10th.
As long as we're running, we have to do a system check once every 24 hours, so there is staff and labor involved in these things, and that's why it's
Okay,
important
so
to
I'll
know
just
what
say
we
that.
plan on.
Yeah.
Okay, council directs staff to plan that council will delay their decision until the meeting of the 10th of
Yep.
February.
Perfect.
All in favor? Thank you. You can put those words in there.
Yes, I
I kind of played around with it.
will. No worries.
Thank you, Shelley. There are no motions or notice of motion. There's no closed session. Therefore, moved by Councillor Moffat, seconded by Councillor Rolla, resolved that the regular meeting adjourn at the hour of 7:46. All in favor? Thank you.